While I'm talking to you now, I just want you to start to mobilize through the wrists. So give them a nice little rock and roll, feel all the cricks and cracks. And I'm just going to talk to you about what today's class is like today. So a lot of us have been sitting around for a couple of weeks now and we get really closed off. We're on our phones, so everything shortens. So today's class is going to be about the digestion with a lot of twists. So in yoga, they say that the more you twist and then release, the better your digestion. And we're going to basically go through the flow with extension and flexion, opening up through the front body, then having a nice relax and closing it off. Because yoga is yin and yang, which is the philosophy where we have opening through the chest, nice and open. Might be a little bit difficult for some of us today, but I believe in you. So, still going through those wrists, mobilizing nice and slowly as well. Oh, nice big crack there. Put the elbows together, grab the wrists. Mine sound like cement mixers, so don't worry. I'm with you there. Good. So if any of you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments and I'll come back to them after class. Also, like any yoga practice or any exercise in the world, if you feel a little bit faint or lightheaded, or even if you can't get the posture today, come back to your mat, come back to yourself, maybe take a seat, and hopefully we can work on it for next time. But yeah, if you have any comments or you have any questions afterwards, please don't hesitate to reach out. So, we ready? Alrighty, coming back to the mat. I'm going to start in a child's pose. So the knees can be nice and wide, toes touching. You're going to sink the weight back onto the heels. Stretch the hands out in front of you. And then just gently, if you can, resting the forehead on the mat. If you like more on the shoulders, stretch out through the hands, reach them nice and far forward. And just take a moment to arrive in the space you've created today. What does that mean to you? Is it a stressful space? Is it nice and calm? Do you have housemates running around in the background? Just try and center yourself today so that you feel in control, which some of us are finding a little bit hard in these times. And just find a nice, even space. Take a few nice deep breaths into the lower belly. Let it be soft. Don't try to control it just yet. Just try and make the breath even and deep on the inhale and the exhale. Good. Slowly come up onto all fours. Going to come into a shoulder stretch, so making sure the wrists are under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips, and you have a nice neutral flat spine. We're going to inhale the right arm to the sky. As you exhale, thread it through underneath the left and try and sit on the back of your right shoulder, stretching it out, reaching the right hand away from you. This should feel really nice across the back of the shoulder. Sending the breath to any areas of tightness. Maybe you've just woken up or maybe you've had a hard day's work. So just be mindful. Good. Inhale the right arm to the sky. Come on up. Good. And then place that hand back down. Other side. Inhale the left hand high to the sky. Opening up through the chest. And then as you exhale, reach it through underneath the right arm. Stretch the left arm away from you. And rest on the back of the left shoulder. Good, coming on up. Inhaling the left arm to the sky. And then placing it back down onto the mat. I'm going to move through a few cat-cows, but I'd like you to do this one mindfully. So we're going to use the full length of the inhale and then the full length of the exhale. So first, we inhale, we drop the belly, lift the chest, push the shoulders back and lift the heart through. As you exhale, tuck the chin, push the ground away, but do it so slowly that you can feel every segment of your spine. Good. Inhaling, dropping the belly. Lifting the chest. Use the full length of the inhale. As you exhale, tucking the chin. Pushing the ground away. Push, push, push. Arch through the back like an angry cat. Good. And then come back to a neutral spine. Shake that out if you need to. Going to come to a pose called puppy. If you know what I'm talking about, then go ahead so you get more time in the stretch. I'm going to move a little bit further back because I'm nice and long. You're going to make sure the hips stay over the knees. Slowly walk the hands forward, and the end game, the aim of this game, is to eventually get the chest onto the floor. So wiggle forward on the fingers. Might be a bit hard to talk in this one, but that's all right. Wiggle forward on the fingers, and then eventually your forehead will reach the mat. And then to get further, we start to push the chest down to the mat. The chin comes to rest on the mat. Opening up through the shoulders. It's going to be quite intense, so if you need to come out of it, just shuffle the hands back. I'm slipping on the floor. And just start to breathe. To slowly come out of this, push through the hands, lift up, and then place the hands back on the mat. How are we feeling? All good? Not too strenuous. We're just trying to gently mobilize these joints before we go into our more hard flows so that we have enough room, enough space, and we're not going in too cold. So we're going to plant the hands at the top of the mat, tuck the back toes, lift into downward facing dog. Pedal out through the feet. Move through your dog, do whatever you need to do, pushing through all 10 knuckles of the hands, lifting out of the waist. Turn the armpits in to talk to each other so you're broadening across the upper back. Lengthening through the side body, bend through the knees, and then shoot your tailbone up towards the sky. Nice and high. And then maybe you push the heels down. Let's do that again. We're going to bend the knees, lift the tailbone nice and high, and then place the heels back down on the mat. One more time. Bend the knees. Inhale that tailbone to the sky, and then placing the heels down on the mat. Good. So if they don't touch the ground, don't worry, that's completely normal. I've been practicing yoga for quite a few years. Because I wear heels for my other day job, I'm probably never going to be able to touch the ground. But hey, woe is me. So, from a downward facing dog, we're going to inhale the right leg to the sky. Try and keep the knee and the toes facing towards the mat. You're going to bend the knee, and then open up split dog. Trying to get your right heel to your left butt cheek. Your left heel, press it towards the mat. Press out of all 10 knuckles. Lift that knee nice and high. And then sweeping it through, step it to the outside edge of your right hand. Drop the back knee. Untuck the toe. Bow your head. You are in lizard. So we're going to stay in lizard for a little bit to open up through the hips. You're going to feel this on the front of the left hip. That's the left hip flexor. And I want you to make sure your right knee is in contact with your right shoulder. Don't let it fall out too much to get that space. Be honest, okay? If you need to sit up nice and tall, and that's enough for you, then that's great. Just sending the breath to those areas of tightness. If you'd like more in lizard, you can come down onto the forearms. But I went for a run yesterday, so that's not happening for me today. Standing up nice and tall for me. Good. Starting to move back into half splits. Now this is, I forgot to say at the start, if you have props, probably get them, but you can use anything. You can use blankets, you can use cushions. I've got 2 bricks and a strap, which I'll show you how to use, but it depends on your flexibility, it depends on where you are. So if you don't need those, then that's absolutely fine. But grabbing the bricks, placing them under your hands, making sure the knee and the hip stay in line. Flex the front toes towards your face. Now this might be enough for you, but if you'd like more, pressing the front heel down into the mat and pull it into the hip socket. So you should feel that really tense through the hamstring. And then we slowly start to fall forward of the leg. We're not going into full splits at the moment, that's a little bit hectic for right now. So just concentrate on pushing the heel down and pulling it back into the hip socket. Good, shift the blocks to the side. Come forward onto the front foot. Bump up onto the back foot and then reach the right leg to the sky. Good, placing that leg down on the mat. You're going to inhale the left leg high to the sky. Same thing, knees and toes towards the ground. Bend the knee, open up split dog. Press the right heel down into the mat. Left heel coming to right butt cheek. Lift the left knee nice and high. Breathing here. Good. Sweeping that leg through. Step it to the outside edge of the left hand. Drop the back knee, untuck the toe, bow your head, lizard. So now you should be feeling it in the front of the right hip. Sometimes I like to wiggle through my hips. Feels nice, I get a little bit of different feeling. But if it pinches at all, come on back. Maybe sitting up nice and tall. Listening to that lovely construction we've got going on, if you can hear it. It's a great time, 9 a.m. in the morning. Good. From lizard, we're going to move back into Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Taking up the bricks with us, placing them underneath the hands. Maybe you need to wiggle the front foot forward a bit. Flex the toes back towards your face. And then if that's as far as you want to go, then that's fine. If you want more, press the heel into the mat. Bring the left hip back into the socket. The left leg back into the hip socket. And then you start to fold over the leg. You might find each side is different. I know my left side is definitely different. One day. And breathing here. Good. Moving the bricks to the side. Place the hands on the top of the mat. Bump up onto the back toes. And then lift the left leg nice and high. Placing the left leg down on the mat. We're going to slowly inch our toes towards our hands. So take little steps. Trying to keep the legs straight. If they need to be bent, they need to be bent. Up, up, up. Until you reach your hands. When you get to the top of the mat, grab opposite elbows and just let your head hang nice and heavy. This is called ragdoll. You can bend through the knees, they can be nice and soft. It's just letting the back relax. And it feels so good. Release the hands. We're going to slowly roll on up, vertebrae by vertebrae. The head is the last thing to come up. Take it nice and slow. And then roll the shoulders back. Come to stand at the top of the mat in Tadasana, mountain pose. So I'm going to run through a few sun A's. I'm going to give you your vinyasa options. So listen up. Inhale the hands overhead, gaze is high. Exhale, folding forwards and down, touching the ground. Knees can be bent. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Plant hands, step back to a high plank and pause. Your first option is a modified chaturanga. You inhale to roll forwards, nice and high, pushing through the shoulders. You drop the knees, untuck the toes. As you exhale, elbows brush by ribs and you lower all the way down to the mat. On an inhale, you press your toes into the ground, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades, low cobra. And then as you exhale, you tuck the toes, seat to heels, lift the seat nice and high, downward facing dog. That is your first option. Take 3 nourishing breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. 1. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhale on 3. Step the right foot to the front, then the left foot to the front. And inhale to a halfway lift. Your hands can come to your shins. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, root to rise, hands come up overhead, gaze is high. And then exhale the hands down by the side. That's option 1 for vinyasa. Let's go again. You inhale the hands overhead, gaze is high. Exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana, touch the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Plant the hands, step back to a high plank. We're going for full chaturanga. Inhale, forward. Exhale, down halfway, elbows brush by ribs. Inhale, roll forwards to an upward facing dog. Your thighs are off the ground. And then exhale, roll over the toes, lift the seat nice and high, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 1. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhale for 3. Look towards the top of the mat. Either step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Give it a go. I know it's tough. And then exhale, folding forward. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Gaze is high. And then exhale the hands down by the sides. Samasthiti. We're going to run through Sun A one more time. Choose your vinyasa option. And if at any point in the practice that you need to come down to rest, please do so. So toes to touch, standing up nice and tall. One more time. Inhale the hands overhead, gaze is high. Exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana, touch the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Plant hands, step back, high plank, choose your option. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 1. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhaling for 3. Look towards the top of the mat. Step, jump, float to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, gaze is high. And then hands down through heart center, beside the body, Samasthiti. Now would be a good time to grab a little drink of water. I know I need to, my mouth is dry. Wipe your towel, anything you might need. So for this next flow, we're going to do triangle flow. This is where I'd suggest you get some books or a brick, or basically anything you just can put your hand on. It needs to be a little bit high, depending on the length of your hamstrings. So I'm going to put mine at the top of the mat, and one at the back of the mat. You'll see why in a second. Moving on to triangle, you come to stand at the top of the mat. Toes to touch, hands in prayer. You step back with the right foot. You spin to face the back of the mat. Right toes turning straight towards the back. Left toes turning in at a 45-degree angle. You flip the palms. Inhale to reach forward. Sassily snap your hips back, yeah? Snap back, reach forward. And then as you exhale, the right hand comes to the inside edge of the right shin bone or your ankle if you have the space. Your left reaches towards the sky. Rotate the chest up towards the sky. Your gaze is at your top hand. This is called Trikonasana, triangle pose. Breathing here for 1, 2, trying to rip the mat apart with your feet. And 3, look down at the bottom foot. Inhale to come back up, and we're going to go straight onto the other side. Spin around. Left toes facing the front of the mat. Right toes out, 45-degree angle. Flip the palms. Inhale, reach forward, sassily snap those hips back. And then left hand down, right arm high, rotate the chest towards the sky. Your arms are trying to pull apart from each other so you've got nice length. Breathing for 3, 2, and 1. Look down at your bottom foot. Inhale to come back up. Going to rotate back towards the front, the back obviously. Right toes turning forward, left toes turning in. Now we're going for revolved triangle. Take your left foot and bump it out to the side. So your feet are like they're in train tracks. Your right hand comes to your lower back. Your left arm reaches to the sky. Now you might have to adjust your stance here depending on your anatomy, the length of you, or how flexible you are. Inhale, reach the left arm high. Then as you exhale, travel forwards and down, making sure to hinge at that hip and grab hold of your brick. You can do this where the fire is, that's a fire engine if you want to know. You can do this with the brick on the inside of the foot or the outside of the foot. Okay, up to you. I'm going to do inside for now, placing the left hand on the brick. Make sure you're keeping that nice length in the back. I'm keeping myself honest with having my right hand on my sacrum. From there, you inhale forwards and then you start to rotate the chest out towards the right. Pavrita Trikonasana, revolved triangle. Breathing here. If you want more, you can release the right arm to the sky. For 3, 2, on 1. You can leave the brick there if you like. Inhale, windmill the arms up and over, spin to face the front of the mat. Adjust your feet. So bumping that right foot out a little bit so your hips are in tram tracks and your hips are facing forward. So left arm lower back, right arm high to the sky. Inhale, reaching up. As you exhale, traveling forwards and down, hinging from the hips, making sure they stay nice and straight. Grabbing the brick, placing it on the inside or the outside. Making sure to keep nice length in the back, and then you rotate the chest out towards the left. This one's real tricky. You can swing the hips out nice and easy, but I want you to keep them nice and straight, maybe even taking your thumb to the hip crease. For 3, for 2, on 1. Release the brick from the mat. Inhale to come back up. We open out to the side. We step to the front of the mat, hands in prayer. Okay, we're coming into extended side angle. So stepping back with the right foot, a longer stance this time. Spin to face the back of the mat. Right toes turn out towards the back, left toes turn in 45 degree. A deep bend in the right knee. Your right forearm comes to your right thigh. You sweep the left arm down and around. Reach towards the back of the room, palm facing down. Rotate your chest towards the sky. Breathing here. Try not to put too much weight in this front hand. Reach out of the side of the waist and pressing through the outside edge of the left foot. For 3, for 2, on 1, look down at your bottom foot. Inhale, come back up, windmill the hands and spin to face the front of the mat. Deep bend into the left. Your left forearm comes to your left thigh. The right arm sweeps down and around. Reach towards the front of the room, palm facing down. Rotate the chest towards the sky so you're looking up onto that right armpit. Extended side angle. For 3, for 2. Good. On 1, look down at that bottom foot. Inhale to come back up. We rotate out towards the back again, but bump up onto the back foot so you're in a high lunge. Your hands come to heart center at your chest. Press your thumbs into your sternum. That will give you a really good sort of reference point for where I want your chest to go. You inhale forwards. You're going to hook your left elbow outside of your right knee. I'm going to shorten my stance a little bit. Okay. Hooking the left elbow outside of right knee. Inhale to find length in the spine, and then you rotate. Try and keep your balance, and you're looking up at the ceiling if you can. Twisted lunge. For 3, 2, on 1. Very gently, look down at your bottom foot. Inhale to come back up. Keep the press. Spin to face the front of the mat. Bump up onto the back foot. And we go again. Inhale forwards. Hinge from the hips. Right elbow, left knee. Hook. Find length. And then as you twist, look up at the ceiling. Good. Keep your balance. It's hard to talk and teach at the same time. For 3, 2, and 1. Look down at your bottom foot. Inhale, come back up. Open out towards the side. And then you step to the front of the mat, hands in prayer. Samastiti here. Good. Take a little sip of water if you need. Whew. That's hard to talk and teach at the same time, I tell you. I'm struggling today. Struggle street. So for this next one, I'm going to open out to the front. You're going to step back with the right foot, so I'm going to mirror you. Come into a wide-legged forward fold. So step back with the right foot. Open out to the side. Your hands come and they flip out, so they're nice and open. Hands come to hips. You inhale the chest nice and high to the sky. Then as you exhale, folding forward, hinging from those hips, leading with the chest, try and touch the ground. If your hands don't touch the ground, that's completely normal. Grabbing a brick might be helpful, or you can just grab hold of your shins if you don't have a brick. If your hands are touching the ground, and quite comfortably, start to move them back so they're in line with the heels of your feet. If you are there, start to look up at your belly button, making sure the weight is forward into the toes. Breathing here. Forward folds are meant to be calming to the central nervous system. We're trying to get our body into a state of rest. The parasympathetic, after we've just twisted it and turned it about. Good. Inhale, come up halfway. So keep the pose, but come up halfway. If you'd like to stay with that one, or you would like a different variation, we're going to clasp the hands behind the back. Push the fist away from you. That's a nice big crack of my wrist. And then as you exhale again, start to bring the fist over your head and away from your shoulders. Maybe this doesn't work for you. You can grab opposite elbows. You can have the hands on the hips. You can clasp the big toes with the 2 peace fingers. Elbows come out to sides. Whatever variation you would wish to take. If you need to bend through the knees a little bit, that's also acceptable. 3, 2, and 1. Release whatever lock or bind you have. Hands come to the floor. You inhale to come up halfway. Spider the hands towards the front of the mat. Frame the front foot. So you're in like a runner's lunge. And then you're going to step back to a high plank. Vinyasa of your choice. Inhale forwards. Exhale down. Inhale upward facing. Exhale downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 1. Inhale. Exhale. For 2. Inhale. Exhale for 3. Look towards the top of the mat. Step, jump, float. Inhale to a halfway lift. And then exhale to fold. Inhale, root to rise, stretching the arms up nice and tall. And then hands down by the side, Samastiti here. Well done, guys. Take another sip of water if you need. I'm going to move into our chair flow. So, if you've done chair before, then you know what I'm going to talk about. But traditionally, the toes touch. There is a sliver of light between the feet. If that pinches in your lower back, please heel toe the feet to hip width distance. I'm going to take traditional because that's how I like to do it. My knees are squeezing together. So whether your feet are apart or together, you're actively trying to squeeze your legs, your inner legs together. So bend the knees, dip the hips, sweep the arms up, Utkatasana chair. Breathing here, squeezing the knees together. Look down at your big toes. Can you see them? If you can't, shifting the weight back further, sinking the hips down. Inhale the hands to heart center. You're going to hook left elbow outside of right knee. Inhale to find length. And as you exhale, start to rotate to look at the ceiling behind you. If you're more advanced and you'd like more, opening up through the wings, pushing that left shoulder into the right knee, or staying with hands at heart center, your choice. For 3, for 2, on 1, derotate, exhale to fold forward over the legs. Let that all go. Heel toe the feet to hip width distance. Grabbing hold of the big toes with the 2 peace fingers. Going to do the yogi lock, okay? Pushing the big toe down into the floor. You inhale to find length. And then exhale, folding forwards over the legs. Elbows come out to sides. You do not have to have straight legs for this one, okay? If your legs are bent, but you still have a flat back, that's perfect. They don't need to be straight. Breathing here. For 3, for 2, on 1. We're going to heel toe the feet back together. We've got the other side to do. Bend the knees, dip the hips, sweep the arms up. Utkatasana, chair pose. Squeeze the knees together, squeeze the inner thighs together. And then inhale the hands to heart center. Exhale as you hook the right elbow outside of left knee. Inhale, find length. Exhale, start to twist. Look at the ceiling behind you. Keep your balance. Maybe opening up those wings. Or maybe staying with hands at heart center. You breathe for 3, for 2, on 1. Slowly rotate back towards center. Exhale, folding forwards over those legs. Coming to Padahastasana. So, heel toe the feet to hip width distance. If you liked what we just did with Padangustasana, the toe lock, keep with that. If you want something different, place the entire hand underneath the foot, toes touching wrists. Legs can be bent. You inhale, find some length in the spine. And then as you exhale, start to fold forwards and down. Maybe give me a little massage with the toes into the wrists. Good. Just feeling everything relax. Feel that lower back start to extend. Slowly release the hands from beneath the feet. And we go out as we came in, so heel toe the feet back together. Bend the knees, dip the hips, sweep the arms up, Utkatasana. And then standing nice and tall, hands through heart center, Tardasana. Woo-wee! That's a good one. Take some water if you need. So I don't know if you've noticed, but every posture that we're opening up, we're then twisting so that we can get that real aid in digestion by sort of cranking those organs together and then releasing them. Right, for this next one, I'm going to do a balancing flow. So I would suggest you get a strap or a blanket, a t-shirt, whatever works, okay? You don't need a strap, then you're going to grab onto the leg or the big toe. Options, we're going to bring the weight into the left leg. Bend up the right. If you want to do all of this with a bent leg, that's completely fine. You grab hold of just under the knee. You're going to hold there for 5. We're going to open out to the side for 5. Then we're going to come back, extend the leg, hands on hips, flex the foot, okay? So if you'd like to do that with a strap, you place the strap around the sole of the ball of the foot, and then you're going to extend. You can also take the big toe, okay? Nice and tall, straight through the front leg. Choose your options. We're going to breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Open that leg out to the side, whether it's the knee or the leg or the foot. 5, 4, stand up nice and tall. 3, 2, on 1. Leg back into center. Let it go. Keep it nice and high. Hands on hips. Flex towards the face for 5, 4, it sucks. 3, 2, and 1. Let that leg down. Give it a shake. Woo. Building up that fire, loving it. Yeah. Weight into the right foot, lifting up the left. You have the whole other side to do. So if you'd like to do this side with this, feel free, be my guest. I often find that my left side is a lot more difficult than my right. So choose your options. Placing the strap or the blanket around the sole of your foot if you need to. Bringing up the left leg. Grabbing hold of the big toe or maybe even the ankle. We breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Start to bring that leg out to the side. For 5, 4, stand up nice and tall. 3, 2, on 1. Bring it back into center. Let go of the foot. Hands come to hips. Keep it nice and tall for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it down. Give it a good shake. Ooh-wee. Alrighty, so for this one, I would suggest you grab a brick, but you don't need it. So we're coming to tree pose. There's options I'm going to give you. Tree, you can do the leg here, okay, hands in prayer, on your calf muscle, on the inside of your leg, okay, that's tree, you can choose to grow it. Or if you'd like more, you bend up the knee through the center. You place your right leg into your left hip crease in half lotus. Maybe that's enough for you, maybe you stay there. Your right hand can take the bind, take a hold of the big toe. Then if you'd like more, you can stay up here. I would prefer to fold forward and have my hand on a brick, okay? Folding forward, okay, breathing there for 5 breaths. So come out, you look up, you take a breath, woo, and then you slowly come up, release the leg back into center. Okay, choose your options for tree. It could be here, 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 or folded lotus, okay? So, choose your poison. Inhale the right leg up. Either taking half lotus or taking tree. Hands come around the back, grabbing hold of the big toe. Staying up here or folding forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Good. If you're down, looking up, take a breath, bend through the standing leg, and then inhale brings you all the way back up to stand. Okay, taking the knee back into center first, let it out in front, and then lowering it down. Give it a shake. Good. Okay, other side. Bringing up the left leg, placing it wherever you wish. This side might be completely different, by the way. Grabbing hold of the toe. As you can see, this one's a little bit harder for me. I'm going to stay up here. And we breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work. Taking a hold of the leg. If you're down, look up. Take a breath. Inhale brings you up. Take the knee back into center first. Let it out in front and then give it a shake. Good. So a little bit easier now. We're going to come down into Malasana. Take the legs nice and wide. Toes turn out. And you're going to sink into your squat. If this doesn't work for you, I suggest grabbing some cushions and placing them underneath your heels. Or books, whatever you have handy. Elbows come inside knees, pushing them out there. Palms come into prayer and you're pushing your elbows into your knees so they sit nice and tall. Maybe just take a second to close the eyes down. Come back to the breath. And come back to the intention you had for your practice today. Good. From there, releasing the prayer. Your right hand is going to come down in front of your right knee. So your shoulder kind of pushes your right shoulder back, right knee back. Your left arm, you inhale to the sky. Opening up, twisting nice and deep. Good. Coming back to center, swapping over. Left hand comes down, right arm high to the sky. Good. Changing over again. Right arm down, left arm high. It should feel really nice. If it doesn't, maybe take it a bit less. And then the other side, left arm down, right arm high. Good. From there, release any apparatus you have underneath your buttocks. And simply sit down on your bum, on your mat. Cool, I won't torture you too much longer, but we've got some fun stuff to come. So, Navasana, boat pose. You're going to sit up nice and tall onto your sitting bones. Grab hold of behind the thighs. Lift the legs into tabletop position. If you want to stay here for 5 breaths, that's completely fine. Next option, hands come out in front, hands holding dinner plates, so palms facing up. You look at your big toes. If you want even more, you extend the legs out. My legs don't want to go there today after that run. And we breathe for 5, 4, suck in the lower belly, 3, 2, on 1. Just cross the ankles, cross the legs and sit up nice and tall. Give that core a break. Good. Round 2, sitting up nice and tall. Legs come together, squeeze those knees together, that might help. Sit up nice and tall, chest shining towards the ceiling. Hands come out for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Crossing the ankles, maybe the opposite way. Sit up nice and tall. We're going for a third and final set. I know, don't hate me, but it's very good for us. So sitting back up, squeezing the knees together. Sit up nice and tall. Hands come out in front, flip them up like dinner plates. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5, 1.25, and 1. Okay, crossing the ankles, sit up nice and tall. Whew, shake it out. Nice. Getting those abs. Coming into a seated twist now. Gonna start to bring the practice back down. Bending up the right foot, place the sole of the foot to the mat. You should have about a fist's distance between your bum and the back of your heel. It's different for everyone though, so don't worry. The right arm comes behind your back and close to your bum, like a second spine. Extend it, make it nice and straight. Your left arm travels up and over to the outside of that right knee. Find length, and then start to twist towards the back of the room. So push that elbow into that knee. If you've been practicing for a while and you want to take the bind, the arm comes around the outside of the knee, and then that one travels around the back. And you sit up nice and tall. Flex the bottom foot towards your face. For 3, 2, and 1. Look back towards the front. Unravel yourself. Maybe take a little counter twist to the left-hand side. And then let the right leg go long. Give them a shake. Cool. Bending up the left leg now. Straight onto the other side. Placing the foot there. Flexing the toes of the right foot towards your face. Left arm comes behind like a second spine, sitting up nice and tall. Right arm comes up and over to the outside of the left knee. Inhale, find length, and then exhale, twist towards the back of the room. Nice and strong. If you want to take the bind, left arm comes around that knee, around back, grabbing hold of your wrist or fingers, whatever you can grab. For 3, for 2, on 1. Releasing the bind, coming back to center, maybe taking a little counter twist. Good, and then letting the left leg go long. Give it a little shake. Okay, coming down onto our bums, but we're going to get there with our core. Hands come out in front, legs are bent, soles of the feet flat to the floor. I'm going to count to 10. So slowly sitting back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, take a load off, sitting on the back. Okay, so we're going to come into happy baby now. So the aim of happy baby is actually to keep the sacrum on the ground. So bending up the knees, you try and grab the outsides of your feet. Now already you can see my bum kind of lifting off the ground. So I like to pull the knees into my armpit and then sink my tailbone down. I'm not sure if you can see the difference there, but sinking it down, planting it on the ground, lengthening through the back. You can start to rock from side to side like a happy baby. If you want more, you can extend both legs, one leg at a time, doing some funky bug dance on the floor. And just taking a load off. Should feel really nice across the lower back, releasing any tension from the twists. Good. Okay. One last twist before we finish. The soles of the feet come flat to the floor. You're going to bump your hips towards the right. So shift them all the way out to the right. Your knees come together in tabletop and then they're going to gently fall towards the left-hand side. If you don't have space, the arms can cactus, okay? So arms come kind of like a T. And then you're going to look over your right shoulder. Now, if your knees don't join together, that's completely fine. Just shuffle around until they do. Or place a cushion either underneath the knees or in between. Breathing here, feeling a nice deep stretch through those legs and the back. If you'd like more, you can pretzel the legs. And that also feels really nice. Make sure the knees are about in line with the belly button, so not too far down. Good. When you're ready, slowly coming back into center. Shift the hips towards the center first and just take a moment to feel the difference between sides. Good. Now shifting the hips over towards the left first. Bring the knees together and slowly drop them out towards the right. You're gonna, bit crack from me. And you're gonna look over your left shoulder. And if you want more, you can pretzel the legs or eagle the legs. Maybe closing the eyes down. Good. Slowly, 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 mindfully coming back up into center first. Shift the hips towards the middle. Let the legs fall long. And the arms come beside the body, palms facing up. I'm going to do one last movement that really aids digestion properly. Okay, so bend up the right knee. Bring it in towards the chest. And as you inhale, feel the lower belly. And then as you exhale, let everything go. Pull the right knee to the right shoulder. Pavanmuktasana. So we do the right side first because the ascending colon is on the right hand side. And then when we switch, it massages the descending colon. So every exhale, gently pulling that knee a little bit closer towards the right shoulder. Making sure to keep the head on the mat. Switching sides, let the right leg go long and lifting up the left. Releasing the hands just under the knee, not on it. Inhale for the lower belly. And as you exhale, gently let everything go and pull the left knee to the left shoulder. Good, letting the left leg go long, just feel the difference in the body for a second. And then grabbing behind the thighs, give your spine a little rock and roll. Oh, doesn't that feel good? and come to a seated position. Hands in prayer, chin dropping towards the chest and the eyes closing down. Take a moment to feel gratitude towards yourself for coming to the mat today, and to everyone else who's joined us for sharing their lovely energy. It is always time well spent. The light within me sees and honors the light within you. Namaste.